What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, where I, Graham G.S. Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network. And today we're talking the November 14th, 2020 edition of Talking Smack. So another good episode. This one was hosted by Kayla Braxton and Paul Heyman, who appears to be the new permanent co-host for the show alongside Kayla. He was better this week than he was last week. It does help that Heyman's such a prominent figure on Smackdown. So if anything goes down involving Roman or Jay or whatever, he can elaborate on it. Granted, not always give the most straightforward answers, as you could probably tell from the interview that we did together about a month ago, although I do love Paul. He's great. And Roman is the best thing on SmackDown right now, so it kind of works out. It kind of helps. But I love when Paul, by the way, this is a very small thing. I don't know how many people picked up on this, but when he calls Roman Reigns the reigning, defending Universal Champion, whatever, the undisputed Universal Champion, instead of reigning defending, he says Reignsing defending. That's not a bot. That wasn't he didn't misspeak. He said that on purpose, the Reignsing defending, which I thought was really clever. I mean, people probably picked up on that. I'm definitely not the only one, but I don't see enough people talking about that. I thought that was a really nice touch. He also insults Kayla Braxton before we get started here, because she said something about being incredible. Or I guess she called him incredible. And he said, don't call me incredible. That means I lack credibility. If you call me unbelievable, that means just it can't be believed or whatever. So he's just burying her, and it was really, really funny. So they elaborate real quick on the ending of SmackDown that saw Drew McIntyre beat Jey Uso in one-on-one action. And Heyman said, it doesn't matter if it's Randy. It doesn't matter if it's Drew at Survivor Series. Roman will beat them regardless. And he's not worried about who he faces because he's ready for either one, regardless of who comes out of Monday's Raw, the WWE Champion, going into the pay-per-view. And Kayla said something about, does Roman just not care? And he said, no, he always cares. He wants to provide for his family, but he has no preference. And I'm not his advocate the same way I'm an advocate for Brock Lesnar. I am a counsel for Roman Reigns, merely there to counsel his actions and whatever, kind of just be a helping hand in whatever Roman Reigns needs. So it's a different relationship than the relationship between Heyman and Brock. And he also says, listen, the family business going on there with Roman and Jay is none of our business. It's none of your business. That's not public knowledge. That's not to be discussed. So the first guest they have on is Sasha Banks, who is coming off an attack from Carmella 2 consecutive weeks on SmackDown. She says that, Carmella, listen, if you want to come after me, just come find me. And she thought that she proved her doubters wrong last week when, a couple of weeks ago when she not only became the SmackDown Women's Champion, but she also proved her doubters wrong when she successfully defended the SmackDown Women's Championship last week in a great match with Bayley. And then Kayla brings up how, I thought this was great. So Kayla brought up what Heyman said last week about how no one is talking about Sasha Banks, no one is talking about Bayley, they were only talking about Carmella. She buried Heyman right here on the spot, with Heyman right there and Sasha right there. And, Sasha addressed those comments. She didn't really say anything about it, but she kind of gave Heyman this evil eye, like, why would you say that? And then Heyman was obviously embarrassed because he just looked at no one but Kayla the entire time. He just glared, stared a hole right through her. I thought was great. So then she finishes up about the whole Carmella thing, and then she leaves and says to Heyman, tell your dad I said hi for me or something. I mean, maybe I'm missing something. Is that supposed to be a reference to something? The whole say hi to your dad? I don't know what that was about. They made no mention, by the way. They made no mention of The Mandalorian, which I didn't expect them to if they didn't bring it up on SmackDown. I didn't think they did. Come on, there's the talk of the town, though. I thought Mandalorian episode 3 of the second season last night was great. It was an excellent episode. Chapter 11 it was called? Great episode. No mention of it here on the show. Very disappointing. You don't even have to spoil anything, but you could at least mention that Sasha was on the show. Come on, man. I thought that was a little weird. So they then bring in Otis, and Otis talks about the advice he's gotten over the years from his mom and his dad about just keep fighting, blah, blah, blah. And he also never gets tired of beating up Dolph Ziggler. And I think he speaks for everyone when he says that we will never get tired of seeing Dolph Ziggler get beat up. And about the whole Chad Gable Alpha Academy thing, he feels like a big fat kid going to summer camp. Those were his words. And it made me think of the movie Heavyweights, which is a great movie, by the way, a fat kid summer camp movie. From 1995 it came out with Ben Stiller. Great fucking movie. He talks about his downhill 2020 going from his great moments at WrestleMania and Money in the Bank to then losing the Money in the Bank briefcase, getting betrayed by Tucker and losing Mandy to Raw. But he says that he and Mandy are still going great and that people shouldn't worry about that, and gets all intense talking about it. And they also show a video of him cooking burgers with a Stone Cold IPA, Stone Cold's beer, and how Stone Cold responded to it. He said, "Hell yeah, cheers." It was a cool thing to bring up, and hey, getting a response from Stone Cold Steve Austin's a pretty cool thing. It is worth bringing up, though, that literally anyone, if you tweet a picture of yourself with a Stone Cold beer, drinking it, having it in your hand, whatever, Steve Austin will respond regardless. And he will always just say either hell yeah or cheers or both. He said nothing about Otis specifically. He probably thought Otis was some fan. He probably had no idea he's a superstar. I'm just kidding. He definitely does, but it's not really all that special when Steve Austin does it to anyone. But it is a cool moment nonetheless. So anyway, they then welcome on finally the Mysterio family. Everyone in the Mysterio family. Ray, Aaliyah, I forgot the mom's name. Ray, Aaliyah, Dominic, even Murphy's there, the boyfriend, the son-in-law, or soon-to-be son-in-law. You know, you got to know a wedding is coming sooner rather than later. Heyman just demands a chair. He freaks about not having a chair to sit in because the Mysterios take all the chairs. But Ray is finally happy to have closure on this whole thing with Ray after beating him in a final chapter no-holds-barred match on Smackdown. Murphy is also glad to be speaking for himself. He calls Rollins a manipulator, but he's glad to be on his own now. We hear from Aaliyah, who says that she's doing great. She wasn't really sure what Murphy was up to at first, what he was doing last week, but she's happy that it's all done for, and there's closure with the angle here. There's closure with the Mysterio family. Everyone's back on the same page. Ray feels relief from the whole thing, and Murphy looks forward to next week's match with Seth Rollins. They'll be going one-on-one again. And the thing that he has working towards him in his advantage, that Murphy has backup. Rollins does not. Rollins has nobody. Murphy has the Mysterio family. He's now an honorary member of the Mysterio family. He might as well change his fucking name to Murphy Mysterio. And so he's a member of the family. Rollins has nobody. AOP got fired. Murphy is betrayed him. Even his wife is not in the company anymore. There is no one there to protect Seth Rollins. So that's going to be fun next week, especially if their match was as good as it was the first time. The second match should be great too. They didn't really say anything of note. Just the visual of Murphy with the Mysterio family just looks ridiculous. The whole storyline sucks. I went into more detail about it in my Smackdown review, which should already be up, by the way. Check that out. Man, this whole thing is a fucking mess, though. It's just one giant mess. But overall, though, I thought this was a very enjoyable episode of Talking Smack. Far from the greatest. Nothing off the cuff here about this episode. No Daniel Bryan, which knocks it down a couple points. But Heyman and Kayla were the best part of the episode. Otis was fine. The Mysterio family was okay. Sasha's just annoying to me, but she was good. But yeah, Braxton and Heyman, their relationship, their chemistry, not literal relationship, but like the dynamic they have is the best part about this show, and it has been for the last 2 weeks. So hopefully Heyman can continue to live up to the likes of Sami Zayn and Xavier Woods, who were great parts of the show before they moved on to other stuff. So good episode this week. Check it out right now on the WWE Network. Talking Smack for November 14th, 2020. Be sure to like this video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Hit that bell button as well to be notified every time a new video goes up. And we will be back tomorrow here on the channel, I believe, with my reviews of the season premiere of Total Bellas from Thursday and the next episode of Ms. and Mrs. also from Thursday night. Both reviews will be up tomorrow. Monday, new Mandalorian review in addition to my review of WWE The Day of Hell in the Cell 2020 from Friday. That review's up on Monday. And then Tuesday, my review of the Brothers of Destruction special going up tomorrow on the WWE Network, in addition to Raw Talk for Monday. So a lot to look forward to. 2 episodes a day, 2 videos a day, I believe, for the next couple days. Today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday. No more of a reason to subscribe than just right there. Subscribe, more content every single day. Have a great one, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm Graham G. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.